Yeah, and I think one of the things about our podcast is we're never going to be the most produced. We're never going to be the highest. Like, if you want to hear some super new, incredible idea, we're probably the wrong podcast. But if you want to have a place to just like engage and think and process, man, I think that's our goal.
Hey, welcome to the Ministry Mix podcast, where we're bringing you real conversations for the souls and strategies of ministry leaders. My name is Phil Gifford, and I'm joined by my co-host, Richard Pope.
Hello.
Whether you are a seasoned pastor or ministry leader, or just stepping into leadership for the first time, we are here to share our stories, insights, and practical tips to help you lead strategically while also caring for your soul. In this episode, this is the first episode of season 2 of our podcast.
Did you miss us?
I think they did.
I don't know.
Oh, I've been getting lots of texts and emails and questions.
Really?
Or not, aren't you?
More so, I got questions about if we still had a podcast because we just stopped posting episodes.
Like, is this, I get the questions like, is the podcast dead?
Pretty much. It pretty much died, but it's back to life on the third day.
It didn't die. We eventually were going to stop when we stopped.
Yeah.
And then relaunch it in season 2.
That.
We just didn't tell anyone we were stopping.
Right. So this week, the episode is, and the launch of the season, 5 ways we will do better-ish this season.
Yeah, the ish is important because we like this podcast, but also we don't want to overcommit to being more than an ish.
Yeah, I think before we share some changes for this season, it'd be helpful for the listeners, Phil, if we each shared just some updates about our ministries, what's been happening, and also we're basically giving them our excuse for why we just stopped.
Yeah.
So Phil, what's going on with connecting and the Gifford family?
Yeah. So right in the middle of the end of the season and transition to the second season, we found out that the rent for our school we were meeting was going to be doubling. So in July, when we were wrapping up the end of season 1, we found out that the school was going from $500 a week of rental to about $1,000 a week for rental. Well, that was a budget buster. We had to find a new facility. We couldn't sustain that. So we were running around trying to find facilities, trying to find a church. And then, of course, we found a church where we're meeting at now, and renting from them and staggering our services with them, which has been a great relationship. But you just can't overnight pivot from like a rental driven portable church to now we have these keys and we have this building and we have this partnership with this local church.
Yeah.
So it's been a heavy, like busy season, a good busy for churches also growing, and people are getting baptized at a rate we've never seen before. Yeah. And new people are coming in. So that just requires a lot of pastoral things and capacity. So that's what's going on for me. Plus I got kids in school and high school. And so
you have a senior.
I have a senior in high school, so doing all the senior things. Our freshman in high school now, our second oldest is a freshman. Of course, Hannah, our 5th grader. But like 2 kids in high school playing sports and all the activities. I just spent a lot of time driving.
Yeah.
A lot of time sitting in things.
And you drove here today, too.
I drove here today just for this moment. So yeah, busy season for us for sure. But so yeah, podcast kind of sat on the back burner of larger family and ministry needs, which I think is healthy. Right. I think at some point you got to say, hey, what's the most important things to do right now in my time? And we love you listeners, but my family and a church comes first.
Yeah.
So Richard, what's up with you?
And most of our listeners who listen consistently already know this. We merged with a church end of last year. And really over the summer, there just started, some of the things that the horror stories you hear about with mergers kind of started to happen. And then I had a book come out of poetry, and that took my attention and time. And we're like at the point where we need to add another service, which I feel like an emo boy when I'm like, oh my gosh, life is so hard. There's so many people I have to figure out how to add a service.
No, it's so hard. Just all these growth and opportunities.
But there is real, I would say there's a real cost to growth, of time, resource, attention.
We actually have an episode this season coming out to talk about that. It's like some of the unseen or unthought about like burdens of growing. Like,
right.
It's costly.
Yeah, like churches grow, but the systems you had don't work. It's like we're doing a complete system overhaul right now at Canvas for like all of our member engagement. Yep. Like the entire thing's being redone. And that stuff just takes time.
And how much of this has been planned on Fortnite?
you can only take credit for like 20% of that.
20% is a pretty strong amount.
Pretty sizable. You'll take 20%.
Or Fortnite conversations.
Oh,
yeah.
sweetie.
While also being sweaty in the lobby.
Well, that's another thing that we should be honest with our listeners. We are like 3 times sweatier than we used to be at
Yeah,
Fortnite.
we've gotten so much better.
The new game mode Blitz.
Yep.
Smaller island, 32 players.
All aggression.
I played regular Fortnite the other day, Phil Solos. I had 27 kills and I won. And I was bored the whole time.
Well, they just put you in the bot lobby and make you feel bad. Like, I want to bring this guy back.
I don't think so. I killed 4 crown guys.
Okay, there you go.
Or drop. So, yeah, if you're a Fortnite player, I just want to encourage you that Blitz will increase your skills. We have a friend named Brad. He was okay. He's gotten a lot better.
He's gotten so much better.
David has not gotten better, but he's trying. I'm kidding.
David's played Blitz with us.
Yeah, he gets very nervous. You can hear him. You can hear him panting. And then also, I took a new role. Let's just get serious. At the state convention that I work for part time, overseeing poverty ministry.
Yeah.
Which we were doing poverty ministry as a part of a broader spectrum of missional impact, but the convention is really trying to lean into poverty ministry. So I'm kind of like, I got dropped in a sandbox with like nothing there. And there was great work being done, but there's a lot with creating new systems, developing strategies. So
I forgot to mention that too. Yeah. Not to just one up you here, but I forgot that with my my professor job.
All right.
My professor role. Yeah. I changed seats kind of from just teaching courses to now I'm in course design. So I've got like some courses that I'm designing now. It's just a lot of extra work.
So I love poor people, and you
write courses for rich people. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's
not quite accurate, but
what school do you teach at?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you don't want to answer that.
Yeah, it's all good. It's been great. We had a podcast listener from one of my classes the other day that actually said that was super encouraged by the conversation.
Wow.
And then he said, "Man, you guys made fun of Stephen Firth a lot in that one too." And you're like, "You're right."
Did I?
We did.
Stephen Firth. I'm sorry. Oh, that was the take.
Yeah, it was.
Did he heal my body? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So great conversation there. So this conversation, we need these conversations on ministry, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the things about our podcast is we're never going to be the most produced. We're never going to be the highest. Like, if you want to hear some super new, incredible idea, we're probably the wrong podcast. But if you want to have a place to just like engage and think and process, man, I think that's our goal. So, hey,
that's our sweet spot for sure.
Yeah. And this podcast really was birthed out of me and Phil playing.
That's what people have given us feedback. It's like, their favorite part about this podcast.
Too much Fortnite talk.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't care because it's our podcast. Ish. There's the ish involved here, right?
Yeah. I don't care ish.
I don't care ish. I care enough, but not that much.
Yeah.
But I think the point, what's been valuable about this podcast from season 1 is when we just turn the mics on and talk about ministry, talk about life, talk about things. Like, I think in an overly produced world, there's still a hunger for just real conversations.
Right.
Especially aligned to things that people are already thinking about.
Yeah. So some of the things we did, we just did a little bit of a brand makeover.
Yeah.
We're trying to be a little bit, we'll get there.
Yeah.
There's a reason we're doing all that. So here's 5 ways we will do better-ish this season. Number 1, Phil, we'll just go back and forth, is increase community. So we have a Facebook group. Shout out to Jay Beard, who is in that Facebook
one
group.
And only member of our Facebook group.
Listen, we started that group with the intention of it being a place for further conversation. And we'll get to this in the end. The goal of this podcast was to foster community and connection and conversations around souls and strategies of ministry leaders, not just pastors, but ministry leaders broadly. And in a lot of ways, the podcast was, I think, a lot more work than honestly I probably had thought of. So I was supposed to run the group, get the community growing, and I just did it. I never posted in it. Jay Beard was faithful in the group. So
he was right there.
Yeah, we had to send Jay Beard a t-shirt or something.
We make t-shirts.
Yeah, but one of the things we're doing is we're really going to pour into that Facebook group. We're also going to have a group me. So the Facebook group will be a place for us to give out content, distribute more from the episodes. It'll probably take us a few months to get that fully up and running, but we're also going to start a group me, which is just literally going to be this like place you can go. There'll be a ministry mix general chat, and there'll be like 4 or 5 sub chats. So like conversations about growth barriers or this or that. And it's going to just be literally like a chat hub and not moderated by, it'll be moderated by me and Phil, which means it won't be moderated. But the goal is that people who listen to this podcast would not just listen to this podcast, but that, man, like if there's ideas for episodes or questions you have, I feel like one of the ways I've grown the most as a leader, especially in my work working with churches, not just my own, is when churches ask me questions I don't have the answer to. And I have to go and like learn
about it. Yep.
So we want this to be a community, not just a podcast.
Yeah. And I think that's the piece of this, is we've always promoted this as real conversations. we want to invite you into the conversation.
Yeah.
Even if it's not on this microphone, it can happen in these groups and these places because we think pastors benefit from having people to talk with.
So just logistics on that. The Facebook community is already open. You can go to Ministry Mix. It'll have our old logo. We're changing all that over. It might have the new logo by the time you hear this, but that Ministry Mix group, we're going to start posting just some extra content in there. And then we'll also have this group me, and that'll be for our most dedicated listeners. Free to join. Anyone can jump into it. We're not going to start having a Patreon yet, but you can get in that group. And one of the things that we're going to do is maybe have like a weekly question just to work through. And that'll be a place if you as a leader, especially I feel like a lot of our pastors in smaller churches, man, they might be the only leader in their church. If you just need someone to bounce ideas off of, think things through, we'd love to provide that as a space for just that.
Right. I like it. The second way we're going to do better this season is we're going to be really increasing the number of voices and guests that speak into this podcast. And not just from ministry circles, but like we want a really diverse group of people joining this conversation. I think for the first, I don't know if we're like 35, 38, somewhere around there episodes that we've recorded so far. The vast majority of them, we had 3 guests come through. The vast majority of the episodes are Richard and I, and we're trying to figure out our voice, our rhythms. So I don't think that's a bad thing. But now that we've kind of figured out who we are, and for better or for worse, we figured out who we are
and who we aren't.
Yeah, I think it's a helpful point now to really start inviting in voices that we think expanding the conversations to other voices that would be good for you to engage with. And I'm especially excited about those that are not necessarily pastors or church lanes, but I think learning from a broad level of leaders would be super helpful.
I agree. I do think, one of the things I'm looking to do this season, I've kind of taken under my wing. I'm going to be really looking for some high impact guests who can add value. I know even today, we'll be recording 2 guests. One, and I won't give all the info, but one will be on telling stories from one of the best storytellers I know.
Yeah.
And another one will be on what to do when life just does not go. It'll be a story driven episode, but what happens when you get sent out to plant a church and then get kicked out of the country you were sent to plant a church in. So I'm excited, honestly, to give our listeners an opportunity to hear from people who a lot of times are impacting us.
Yeah. And you're going to hear like national names that you'll recognize, and you're going to hear from like people you've never heard of before.
Yeah.
I think that's super helpful to have conversations across the board.
Right now, we're talking to some musicians, some sports people, some denominational people, some pastors.
Presidents.
No presidents. Sorry, we're not. I mean, maybe
if one of the former presidents or current presidents listen to this podcast,
we're not partisan. We're not picking one. But maybe even you'll hear from someone who is currently homeless.
Yeah.
Right. We just have some ideas for this season that I'm excited for.
Bringing new voices and conversations.
Yeah. And with that, increased content. So we are going to be ramping up social media. We'll share more about that with our next point, the next way. We're also working on a website. And that website will really just be a central hub for the group me, the Facebook chat. Me and Phil are looking at maybe producing a monthly resource for free.
Yeah.
A PDF. Phil and I both in our roles create a lot of content.
Right.
And we create very different types of content for the most part, I think.
Which is what makes this podcast helpful.
Right.
Like really, we have similar philosophies to how we do things, but we kind of approach it from different perspectives.
Yeah, Phil is way more strategic, systems driven. I'm way more mystical and like I want to hug myself and listen to Jesus boyfriend songs. I'm kidding. That's actually not me at all.
Maybe a little bit. Keep going.
I will kill you later on Fortnite. That is a threat, by the way, but just a virtual one. One of those things that you might start seeing is on that website, and in that group there'll be links and whatnot. When I create a prayer guide for my church, well, maybe that prayer guide would be good for your church. We're not going to gatekeep that. So listen, at the end of the day, me and Phil are local church pastors. So if I create something that's good for my church, it might have the Canvas logo. You can copy and paste and make your own, but I might just upload that for you guys to be able to take it. And Phil can do the same with connecting church.
Start sharing some of the things we produced, especially as it interacts with the episodes that we're making.
100%.
Because these episodes are things where like we sometimes have ideas that are like disconnected to what we're dealing with, but a lot of times it's what are we in the weeds with right now.
Absolutely.
So I think, increased content. You'll see some social media things, quotes. I mean, just things that you can also, as a listener, if you want to invite other people into the conversation, sharing quotes, seeing some of the videos that we're going to be putting together for this eventually. So we just kind of want to cast a little wider net in some of the content we're producing.
Yeah.
Here's one that really should have been yours, Richard, but we are getting help with that podcast.
Mental.
Doesn't everybody need a little bit of guidance and help? So, before it was Richard and I, and here's how we've been dividing the lanes. Like Richard kind of handled getting guests and doing social media. And I handled producing the episodes and kind of keeping us on track.
Yeah.
And so you pick which one you thought fell through the cracks more. But
whoa.
So shots fired, everybody. Hey, we have all the episodes produced just fine. So, but with that said, the truth is we're both busy pastors. We are both leading in various ways.
And some of us actually do our jobs.
Some of us do our jobs. What's that mean? I do all my jobs.
I could have gone either way.
Yeah, I should. Anyways, we're getting some help. And so we have, we can probably mention her, right?
Yeah. In the room right now.
Yeah, we do.
Observing is Haley.
Haley, say hi. You're on a mic.
Hi.
It's going to be very faint. Haley started at the church with me at Canvas back in August, and she's kind of helping me with Canvas, my other jobs. Basically, I keep taking jobs, and I can't do the time for them. But one of the things Haley's going to do for us is we're going to create these pretty consistent posting schedule, and Haley's going to handle the social media for us. Because one thing Haley's good at is consistency and doing the same thing again and again and again. What I am not good at is doing the same thing.
Is tenacity at all in your tenacity?
So working genius, watch this. We could do a whole episode on hiring based on, that's what we'll interview, Haley. Hiring based on your geniuses. Yeah. So I am galvanizing and wonder.
I don't have a drop of tenacity in my body.
My worst genius is tenacity.
So we have two guys who fail at tenacity.
Haley is tenacity and enablement.
You're welcome.
They hear you, Haley.
I know I should have turned the mic. I should have just brought the mic over there for her.
Yeah, she kind of wants to be
like sigh every time we see.
You can tell. Look at her. You can tell she kind of wants to be on. Haley is very shy. Every week in staff meeting, Haley, one of Haley's goals is to grow in her confidence. So every week in staff meeting, we're like, Haley, do you want to pray? We have like 10 people on staff, and she's like, no, but I will. And she prays these like beautiful prayers, and then she's like, like I have done. But yeah, Haley will be helping out for the day. And then with this fifth thing I'm about to share, it's mine to share. I'll give an overview of this, and then you can kind of fill in. One of the things Haley's going to be helping with is this is going to go from a podcast about ministry to a ministry of a podcast.
Yeah.
In season 2, we're transitioning. In season 3, down the road, that'll really be, I think vibrant.
So. It's going to take us a little while to get there.
Big goals this year is to, again, launch those communities, but we're planning 2 micro conferences for 2026. Mm-hmm. A micro conference is 4 or 5 hours. Man, you come together, super low ball. We're not going to try and impress you. We'll probably do one in Salisbury at Canvas, one in wherever our church is going to be. He doesn't know either. In fact, pray for Phil. Lord, we just pray that you would give Phil a building. Amen. But one of those things will be micro conferences. Imagine we bring in some guests, we do some sessions. If you've ever heard of TED Talk, the vision for those is like TED Talk, but for ministry. Yeah. So 15, you've been to a conference and a guy speaks for an hour and like 10 minutes is helpful. Imagine a 15-minute, super concise, super short, some worship, some prayer. There's these things that we do at our church that Phil has adopted and has kind of made their own version of altar nights. I'd love to have a time of that where we just pray and sing together. But to foster community.
Yeah.
That's something we'd love to get in a rhythm of, is twice a year having
these micro conferences.
They're
not going to be the flashy, we are coming to wow you, like you said.
Yeah, there's not going to be tons of merch.
It's not even going to be like
we might do a sticker.
Sit and learn from the experts. We should definitely give stickers.
We might.
It's not going to be coming.
Haley's going to make stickers.
We're just going to talk at you the whole time. It's going to be highly interactive. Again, the vibe of the podcast is it's better when people talk to one another, and that's what we want to see.
Right. So imagine workshop style conferences, and honestly, intentionally small crowds. Like, you ever been to a conference where they like promote it like to be the best thing ever, and there's 30 people there?
Yeah.
Man, I think capping it around 40 people. Like, we want this to be an intimate conversation.
Better, yeah.
And then one of my hopes is that we will record those talks, and that will come out as bonus content for you guys in the Facebook group, on the website, etc.
So yeah, just basically we want to invite you to come together and do some things. So the big picture of this is right now we have a podcast about ministry, and we want to move that to a broader ministry that Richard and I are sharing here about things we're learning, things we're producing, things that we think are helpful for ministry leaders. And with that, and a ministry is an extension of that, or a part of that, but not necessarily the only thing that comes along with. So if you have ideas of how we can do that, we'd like to hear from you. You should share what share what you're thinking, share ways that we can bring this into a larger ministry of sorts. And so, but that fits all the things we talked about: increased community, increase content. We need help to do that. So all these things are kind of where we're going.
More voices.
But it's gonna take us a little while to figure that out because we're not going hard into this either.
I would say season 2, transitional. We're going to do consistent episodes, consistent social media.
Yeah.
That will already be a big change. We'll launch these communities and groups throughout the season.
Yep.
And then out of that, look towards the end of 2026. So I'm thinking maybe fall, micro conferences. 2 maybe Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoon, something like that. Planning probably to do one in Salisbury and then a week later do one in Abingdon area or vice versa. And hey, if you're listening to this and you love the podcast and you would like to help host one of these mini conferences, you should let us know because we could do more than 2 if we had a location and some help.
Yeah, so we could even, if you listen to the podcast, you know some of the areas that we can speak into, pretty good authority, and you want us to come in and lead some workshops at your conferences, let us know. Let Haley know, I should say, so we can make it happen.
Yeah. Message on Instagram, which after today will be Haley.
Speaking of social media and Instagram, what are some, I can't even remember what are our handles for all these things. If someone was listening, they don't know how to get a hold of us. How do they get a hold of us?
Remember says we're going to do better-ish.
Yes.
I don't remember what our handles are.
Ministry.mix.
I'm checking right now. Ministry.mix.
That's what platform is that?
Instagram. And that also works on Facebook.
Ministry.mix.
And if you go there, I just want to read a official announcement from me and Phil. Sorry, season 1 ended a bit abruptly. Life in ministry got busy and we didn't properly communicate that the season had wrapped. We promised to do better-ish next time. New look, new season, same mission. See you soon with love and tickles, Richard and Phil.
Did you actually say love and tickles?
I just said see you soon. See you soon. Well, this is you seeing us.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how much of a boomer I am in this. Like I saw that you posted the Instagram stuff yesterday, and I'm like, what the heck is this? I was like,
you didn't understand the collage?
I didn't understand the collage. I was like, this is like, sorry,
this is hard.
It's like missing parts. I had to click on the.
Hey, if Taylor Swift does it, I'm doing it too. She does collages sometimes when she has new albums coming out.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. I don't want to admit why I know that. I'm backing off right now. Well, that's an episode, guys.
That's an episode on Taylor Swift. So, hey, I will say this. We want to do better on season 2, but season 1 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with us. Thanks for being a part of the conversations. We are excited about season 2, and we hope that this is kind of a... Is this episode 1 or like a preview episode?
This is episode 1.
This is episode 1. Now you know where we're going. Richard and his Game Boy. So, hey, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Ministry Mix. If you found this content helpful, make sure you subscribe so that way you don't miss any future coming up episodes. If you haven't already, take a minute to leave a review on wherever you listen to your podcast.
Apple and Spotify,
because your feedback helps push the algorithm to other leaders just like you. Again, we've got some Facebook groups. We've got some social media that you can connect with us. We'd love to be able to connect with you deeper and get into the topics that you want to hear about us. Till next time, keep leading with purpose and caring for your soul.
Bye.